Yo, what's poppin', y'all? It's Brother Front back at it with another Nikke video, and man, oh man, we're shortly reaching the end of all this new information and news we got the last couple of days. Even though by the time I'm recording this, I'm sure our next batch of tweets will be coming up relatively shortly now, so hopefully it ain't nothing too crazy and something that I have to boot up the OBS to cover again. But either way, we now have confirmation on the next upcoming event to the game, coming right before the 3rd anniversary celebration itself. That, of course, being our favorite group of rascals that we like to join along with during October time, the Phantom Thieves, of course, as well as ACPU, since Miranda is a part of both those squads. Now, interestingly enough, I mean, you guys can already see from the images just below right here, but the character being featured that I was not expecting at all to receive for this event, even though I'm glad they are definitely being brought back now, is of course the next upcoming character to the game. Finally, after all this time, after almost 3 years, we are getting an SSR Delta alt. Delta is one of those SR characters that has surely been making their way into the relevancy more and more. She's one of the prominent characters featured in the new Absolute story when their event was going on. She's also just one of the few SRs in general who has yet to see the SSR treatment alongside units like Belorda, Neve. I mean, I would kill for a Neve all at this point. And you know, all that stuff. So I'm glad to see that ShiftUp is still interested in bringing these characters into the spotlight with SSR alts, as opposed to just bringing out more and more new, never before seen characters that just push these SR units into obscurity more and more. So the new Delta Ninja Thief, I mean, some of y'all might know, some of y'all might not, but Delta always had it, man. Obviously the combat vest she was wearing pretty much hindered all the assets, if you want to call it that. But I mean, either this could be a typical Nikke modification moment where she gets a new body that comes with these features, or you know, this is just what she always had on her. But either way, she is going to be the newest character coming to the game for the event. You do get a little preview of her burst skill, of course, in this image right here. Very excited. Now, of course, do keep in mind, I do gotta say, as always, since this is coming right before anniversary, this is the most bait of bait banners. I'm telling you, ShiftUp does this every single year. Right before anniversary, they always drop 1 to 2 characters that are just so bait heavy that people just either can't control themselves or end up missing out on really good units, because there have been cases where the bait units right before anniversary, coincidentally, wink wink, ended up being the perfect candidates or the perfect synergies with the actual anniversary characters themselves. And I feel like that might honestly end up being the case for Delta, and I'll explain a little bit later why that's the case, or why I feel like that's the case. But moving on, just a little preview of her shooting pose. Looking nice, got the whole ninja aspect going on with, I mean, here we can already see that she's going to be a machine gun unit, and she does have, you know, the sword in the back, which is dope. I mean, this is just a really sick design in my opinion, all the different imageries in here. But from there, we'll then look at her, actually, before that, we'll look at the actual image for the event itself. So, Go Ninja Thief goes live on the 16th of October. So we now obviously, of course, have confirmation of when the actual update will go live. I am recording this on the 13th, so in just a couple of days now, we'll be getting this new content. And the last thing I want to show real quick before getting into the patch notes in the last tab here is, of course, her actual pose. I mean, geez, man, they really are making it hard. I mean, I'm obviously going to try my best to not get baited into this, but again, depending on how they do her kit, I might just have to. I mean, there's really nothing I can say other than that. I really might just have to. But again, got our Phantom Thieves. We got the cool man in the back. Look at this dude. He's getting flyer and flyer every year when it comes to the Phantom Thief stuff. He's putting on the show now. Of course, got Phantom. We of course got Miranda. We of course got Quincy, and of course Quirion, Polly as well. So very curious to see what they end up doing for this event this year around. Typically, this event with the Phantom Thieves ends up being like the Halloween-esque event of the year, so I'm sure they'll probably tie it into something like that. Since it will be going on around anniversary time, I mean, if it goes up on the 16th, And for 2 weeks, that's 14 days. It'll be around the 30th that the event leaves, so I'm sure this event will probably still be active by the time Annie drops. But we'll have to wait and see. Either it'll go away right before or be up for like another day or two. But now moving on to the actual patch notes themselves. Of course, the update on October 16th. We already know what we're expecting at this point, so the main thing I want to show y'all is this right here. Of course, the new Nikke SSR Delta Ninja Thief, the righteous Phantom Ninja who works from the shadows, joins Special Recruit. Delta Ninja Thief can change her actions if defender allies are close by. Now what this means right here is basically she's going to be similar to Rouge in the sense that the way you place her in your team composition is going to matter a lot. I assume it's going to be similar to where you basically want to put her either in the second position on the team or the fourth position, so you can have 2 defender allies be on each side of her so that they can get some additional benefits. What those benefits are: she boosts her allies' distributed damage attacks, and her burst skill improves their attack power, as well as her own survivability. Now, of course, she is going to be a defender class. Like I said before, machine gun, code water, which is interesting. Although we'll never complain about getting more water characters, because that element needs it bad. Now again, we do have to, I'm sorry y'all, but I know, like I said, this is bait, but we have to take this part into consideration because, again, the fact that she works specifically for defender allies, I mean, let's look at it realistically. How many defender Nikkes in the game can realistically work off of her benefits? I mean, you have, Cinderella is like the best option in terms of damage. You have 2B, who's a defender that also has distributed damage attacks, but even then, she's a collab character, right? If you don't have her, then you don't got her. So you can't really use her as, a major consideration, although she will obviously, I'm sure, be a great synergy if you have nothing else. But again, really when it comes to permanent synergies in the game that you can use, it's really just Cindy right now as a defender who can really take benefits or use, Delta's benefits. So with that being said, again, I don't want to be that guy, but I really do feel like Delta is going to be perfect bait for the 3rd anniversary characters, and I mean at this point I basically expect to see one of the 3rd anniversary characters end up being a defender, if not both of them. I mean, there's really no telling what can happen at this point. For 2nd anniversary, we had a defender and a supporter with Cindy and Grave. So, I mean, at this point, I don't even know. Maybe we'll get a defender and attacker, or another defender and supporter, or maybe we'll just get a double defender and just say, screw it, let's call it a day. But again, y'all, the fact that she is buffing defender allies, which there's really no one in the game that can really take advantage of this to the extent that realistically only Cindy can, and obviously 2B if you have her, of course, but I do think she's going to be a big bait character for the 3rd anniversary units. So I will just say keep that in mind. Don't summon for her off rip when she releases. Wait like a week and a half when her event is close to leaving, so we can actually get the information from the 3rd Annie live stream to see what the 3rd anniversary units will be in terms of their class. But other than that, I'll leave it there. I don't want to scare y'all too much now because it can get real scary real quick. But of course, we already know, getting the free costume for Rappi. They're doing a rerun for the Miranda costume in this image here. Came out last year during the Phantom Thief event, so they're bringing that one back. Obviously, the new event, Go Ninja Thief, is coming out. Challenge stages, all that good stuff. The archive, like we already know, we're getting the Unbreakable Sphere coming right before 3rd Annie, of course. So if you haven't yet enjoyed that story or that event in general, then that would be a great time to tackle that before the 3rd anniversary releases. New 7-day login event like always. Of course, more information about the free Rappi skin, which, like I said, all you gotta do is just log in to receive the free costume as well as the 5 different frames and her theme song. Special event, of course, for the Rappi skin coming out as well, like I stated. And like we also already know that's coming out, the side story Eden Spear finally getting a little bit of a hint as to what it's actually going to be about. After being contacted by Dorothy, the Inherit Squad heads to the designated location and discovers Nihilister there, of course, because we, the commander, gave them that location. To obtain information from her, Johan and Cecil begin thinking of ways to awaken her. Again, I already know how that's going to play out with the 3rd anniversary characters, hint Librelio. But again, co-op coming as well, Champion Arena, all that good stuff, all the usual things we get with these events is coming out as well. But again, I'm just saying, y'all, I already know I might have, some pitchforks raising at me in the comments, but they do this every year. They always do a bait banner before the anniversary, and those units happen to be great candidates that work alongside the anniversary unit. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm saying. All right, you can hate me all you want, but that's the facts. They always do this, and I mean, you can clearly see why with the amount of extent that they're putting into these designs. They really just want to rob you blind at this point before anniversary hits. But at the same time, I will say, honestly, we expect a bunch of free currency for the actual 3rd anniversary itself. So, I might have to. I mean, I know this is bait, but I'm fishing. I'm really fishing, and I might have to get caught. So that's gonna do it for this video. Again, very excited to see an SR like Delta finally get the treatment she deserves, getting brought, back into the spotlight after so long. I mean, again, we've already seen tidbits of her making an appearance with the Absolute event that we had earlier, and I mean, they basically teased that this was going to happen for this event specifically. But again, can't wait to see what her kit ends up being like. Again, I'm recording this around the time that they usually drop their next batch of tweets, so I'm sure that'll probably include her kit breakdown and her burst skill animation preview, but we'll have to wait and see, of course. If y'all enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for some more Nikke content. We're getting to the thick of it, y'all. It's only a matter of time before the 3rd anniversary is officially upon us. We got 12 days until the live stream, or pretty much a little bit less than 12 days until the live stream, so only time will tell what type of craziness we're going to get for that. But it's been Frona. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace out, y'all.